Okay, so I'm Caitlin or Adeline. It's up to you, whichever you prefer. I am the man behind the ETH Trader Life organization and also the brain that created all the premium strategies that you saw and you are going to see. So now I'm going to start some video guides. So this way you can see entirely how these products they perform, how are they made, what are they made of at the same time, and of course how to set up it properly, how to check for repainting or stuff like that. And lastly, of course, I'm going to also make a guide on how you can use all these strategies and connect them to some bots, like for example 3 commas or Wonderbit or Crypto Hopper and so on, because in the end all of them use the same logic. So yeah, now let's start. First, I'm going to start with the long-term strategies that I have. After that, I'm going to transition to the middle, then to the short term, and lastly, I'm going to make the video about my new products, which are right now in beta or they were released, close of the time at the close of the time. And of course, slowly at the same time, I'm going to use these mechanisms for the video guides that I am trying to make, in the future. To start a little bit about myself, although I already wrote all of this, in the Telegram bot and in the description. My main idea in the end, is to have my own hedge fund, and not just that, I want to be like education center at the same time, for this. I want to have, the premium strategies, the indicators. I'm going also to have, and also I have a lot of free products, which have been developed by myself and they are being put in the trading view, and I'm going to continue, of course, with this route as well. I also have a book, and I want to make more books, about trading. And of course, I want to have guides, video guides, both for free and for payment. And lastly, of course, I would like to have, my own, pool fund, which I'm going to manage manually. And most of these products, which I'm going to show you right now, I'm going to use them, for the hedge fund. But at the same time, I'm going to apply some other criteria that I have for manual trading. So yeah, now let's get down to the main idea that we are here. So right now I'm going to explain you about the Ethereum product that I have, which is specialized in this case for 4 or 8 hours. What I can tell you about it is that first I'm using the main basic, it is kind of the same, for all my long-term products. I'm always looking at the volume. I'm checking, to see a big spikes, in the volume. And at the same time, I'm using a combination of, I would say, 100 and something like that, moving averages, like the normal moving average, the SMA, the exponential one, the DMA, the triple one, the whole one, the Wilson, and so on. And I'm not just that, I'm in general I apply them, to multiple. Depends if I apply them to multiple lengths, that's one step. And at the same time, I'm applying to different type of candles, like for example to the close, to high, to low, to the average of high plus low, or open high low candle 4, and so on. Plus, so this is going to be together at the same time from the main. Also, I'm looking, at the oscillators. Like sometimes I'm using an average of the oscillators, when I'm using some concrete ones. It depends on the product. And the other half, of course, is going to be the price action. So all of this, actually, in my occasion, yeah, they can help you, get a good idea of how the trend goes and so on. But I also like to use a lot of price action, because in the end, all these indicators, if you think about it, and all the data that they are placing and so on, it's it has a delay. So the price action, you're going to see entirely, what's going to happen. If you are going to see a massive candle, like for example, I don't know, I'm making a small example, like look, for example, this one, or even this one even more, like 17%, candle in the movement of a price, or stuff like that. Combine those, with the other ones, with the other tools that I said previously, and you are going to have a massive tool. Now you are going to wonder, yeah, but what do you mean by price action? So for example, I'm looking like some sort of rules, like I'm looking like, for example, an ascendant pattern, like for example the close of a candle is bigger than some previous highs, and the low of the candle at the same time is lower than previous lows, depending if it's a long or short entry. At the same time, I'm looking like the movement of a candle, like for example, if like I said previously here, like for example, if you see this candle from the open until the close, it has a 9%, and then from the open until the low, it has a 90%. So I'm using also this data, comparing like this movement, how much of a movement we had in some previous candles, and so on. So now let's get back to the Ethereum product. So this Ethereum product in general, it works not just with this one. Like for example, if I will take Bitcoin or any other coins, it can be adapted. But of course, from all my testing that I saw, I noticed that this one works best, for Ethereum, and the other ones, that I have, they work best, for them. But at the same time, of course, they can be applied, to the other currency. And now speaking about Ethereum, what I noticed mostly, in this case, the one of the main ideas that I have behind it as well. So, you might heard about the Heikin Ashi candles, but the problem is that if you apply just like this, the Heikin Ashi candles, this is not the true value of the product, because, for example, look at this. Let's say, for example, this entry, which we have here, like, for example, on 24 January, if you notice, this entry is telling me that it entered on 1251.56 on the Heikin Ashi candle, but the real price is telling me that it was actually 1265.53. So this is a big difference. With Heikin Ashi, we're always going to have the average of what happened in the candle, but we are not going to have the real prices. But of course, if you notice the difference, like look at this, 4,000% increase with Heikin Ashi, and we know if we are going to use the normal candle, if we're going to use the normal candle, it's going to be 1.2 thousand%. So it's 4 times better. But the problem with Heikin Ashi is that you don't have to tell it. That's why, for example, if you notice here, it's telling also, from the home server itself, caution when you are using this, because they are producing unrealistic results. However, I did find an opportunity that, for example, in order to use properly, this Heikin Ashi, and in general for long period of time, it's working amazingly. Instead of using the chart, of Heikin Ashi, I am using a normal chart, like for example, I'm doing here. So I'm using the normal candle, but the entry that I have behind, it's the entry according, to the Heikin Ashi. So, it might sound, a little bit too complex to say like this, but I'm using realistic results, and I'm finding realistic results, and I'm making use, of this tool to say like this, but during the normal candles. Now, let's get back on the product. So far, from all my tests that I tested, with these products, I have found out that in the end, the 8 hours works the best with this. You can also try, for example, with 4 hours or 6 hours, but the results are going to be different. You have, of course, if you notice, you have much more trades. The lower I go, but the 8 hours, for example, this one works even better than the 4 hours. But the best result that I have found, they are with 8 hours. That doesn't mean, that this is the best result. This is what I can find. But that doesn't mean, that if you are going to search for yourself, you're going to find another. You are free, of course, to do whatever you want. I'm just giving you, a lead. So, better said, a place from where you can start. And from here, you can use this one, or you can adapt it according to your own need. So, like, for example, and like I said previously, like for in this case, for example, I'm using always 0.1% commission, but this in general is actually, it's double than what you spend in general, mostly, in the Binance, because TradingView has a system that, you actually divide the original value by 2, but I'm always trying to use a bigger value in this way in order to simulate the bigger commission, and at the same time I'm using a slippage of 5, which is like, for example, let's say the entry, the original entry, it would be at 1316. So because of these ticks, actually I will place 1 2 3 4 5 movements up ahead, so it's going to be 1347. This way, by simulating all of these, I am taking into account the spread that it can happen, when you are buying these products, and at the same time, I'm trying to approach, to have more and more realistic results or what is going to happen. But then, of course, I have another, like I used to have, in the chat, and they were telling me, yeah, but you see, all of these, they are not realistic, they are just backtesting and blah blah blah. But man, think about it. I'm not, you will never be able to predict the future in the end. So in this case, for example, this one we only have here, we had, like, for example, from 2020. But let's take all the available data. Let's go, for example, from 2000, but anyway, if I'm going to put 2000, it's going to take me all the data that it has from 2017, because this is all the data that exists on Binance for this product. So as you can notice, this product is telling me that in a period of 3.5 years, it told me, oh, you see, we made 84 trades and we have a 40% win rate. And what does it mean after that? A profit factor of 4.8. So that means that for every euro or every dollar that I'm losing, I'm winning 5. It's fucking amazing. Sorry for the curse, but it's fucking amazing, to find something like this. Most of the products that you are going to find, for example, for Forex or everything like that, they are going to give you a 40% with a 2 to 1 ratio, or maybe 1.5 to 1. But anyway, that I don't want to enter in that. But as you can see, it's telling me that in 3.5 years, we have all of this. But you told me, yeah, but you see, maybe we don't have enough of data. Okay, then let's take, for example, ETH USD, because we trade previously with ETH USDT. But let's say, for example, we take ETH USD, and let's go, for example, Kraken, because Kraken is, I would say, in my opinion, is the main one is the main broker, for Ethereum. So, for example, in this case, we don't have from 2017, we have 2015. So now we have 5.5 years, more or less. I don't know if Coinbase it's have more than that. Sorry. So let's go, for example, yeah, look, no, it has 2016, 2000. So Coinbase or Kraken, doesn't matter. Yeah, but it matters a little bit, of course, because, but in general the prices, are going to be the same. But anyway, let's go back, like we said, let's go back with Kraken, and then I'll go back to Coinbase as well. So here, as you can see, on ETH USD, we had a profit factor of 0.8 initially for the last 3.5 years. But then, if I take, for example, this one, and now here we have 5.5 years of data, it's telling me more or less the same. That I have a profit of 4.2. In this case, it's not going to be 4.5 because we have more data. Yeah, of course. But then again, we are close to this 40%, to this win rate. And now we have much more trades. But in this case, for example, I'm using the Heikin Ashi, because if I'm not going to use Heikin Ashi, it's going to be, a little bit different. You see, that's why I'm trying to look at this. So, for example, from a profit of 4. From a profit of 2.5, which is normally, if I'm going to apply the Heikin Ashi inside the calculation, I'm almost doubling this, and I'm also reducing the Mars fractal. So as you can see, if I'm testing all this data and it's telling me, then I can give you this percentage of intuition that it has, that in the future is going to happen again. And as a matter of fact, now let's take, for example, you might tell me that, oh, but it's highly optimized. Well, you see this product, and most of our products, they are a result of, I would say, more or less around 4 to 5,000 of hours, of testing, backtesting, developing, and so on. And in this case, this product, I finish it, in October. So let's take, for example, October, when I finish it. So let's go, for example, here, and I will take 2020 and month of 11, not October. So, for example, since October until the present day, which is going to be, if you notice here, from 31 October, but I'm taking November. Yeah, I'm taking that. So, yeah, because it's 1 of November. So, I'm taking from 1st of November until the present day. Look at this. It has 66.6% and 11.2 factor. So you can call this like the how it's called, like the forward testing. And not just that. Like, for example, the other day I posted in the Telegram as well. This is the latest entry as it has. For example, as you can see, on 6th of March of 21 at 9 hours, it entered at 1,590 on the price, and right now it's on 1.8. So it already has 13%, 14%, of the win. Now, right now, if you go in the open profit, you can see here. No, sorry, 15.6% in profit. So let's say if you would put 100 euros right now, you would have 16 euros more or less of profit. So yeah, if you are taking all this data and you can see that during all these years in the entire history that exists, for this product is working, then it's a big probability that in the future is going to work as well. Of course, sometimes I'm going to make some more changes, some more updates into it, but the main idea is that this product. And yeah, of course, I forgot to place the buy and hold. So if you noticed, if I'm going to take a short period of time, like for example, if we take let's take for example 1 year. Let's take 1 year. So if you noticed, this is the buy and hold line, and the buy and hold line, it's a little bit more or less kind of always below us, but that because we are not taking into effect the full compound effect. What is the full compound effect? Let's say for example you have 1,000 euros. Yeah, you buy it in 1st of January 2020 and you calculate it now. So more or less, let's say you made 1,000% in this year. Yeah, it works amazingly. But if you take into account that this year, yeah, of course, it was very, very bull. But if we would take into account, like the previous years when you have up and downs, like let's take for example 2017, like we had previously, look how it changed. Because if you noticed, this is our line. Yeah, this is our line of buy and hold. So if I would have buy and hold, because of these up and downs, if I would buy on 2017, in 2017 the price, it was, how much it was the price? Right? Yeah, so the price here, it was 8, 9. So 9, if you take that 9, 10, 1,000, 10,000, more or less around 20,000% increase. But with this buy and hold, I'm having 100,000, 150,000. So you see, I am beating it by 7 times, 8 times in this case. And this is the point, that all these strategies, they are making him to beat buy and hold, in the long term. So if you are leaving it, you are letting this effect of compounding, like for example, you have 100, then you have 120. If you take 10% of 120, it's going to be 12, it's not going to be 10, and so on. You keep over and over and over and over, adding that interest. So in the end, you are going to see the effect on it. So yeah, then getting back to, like I said, yeah, but see, maybe your strategy is, they are repaintings. Okay, so you see, in trading you have option which is called reply. So let's say for example, let's say I will take from here. Let's take from 23 of January 2021, and this is what this is. January is first. Okay, 23. So you see, starting from here and from here, and it's telling me on 24 January you have a place. So in the end, if you notice, it's told me 25%, increase. Yeah, taking into account this last, so it's around 40%. Anyway, you can do this. So you go here, you place replay before of this, and you use this magic button, play. What's mean repainting? Repainting, it means that, for example, here I'm going to have a buy signal, but after some days it's going to change and it's going to appear a short signal or another buy signal, and it's going to place direction. But because in the end all my entries, they are placed on when candle closes, you are not going to have this inside of it. So for example, let's take the replayer. So you see, we have an entry here, and the entry, it was on 24, just like I said, on 24 January. Then we have the exit on 22 February. Then we have an entry, then we have an exit, and then again we have the entry that we are here on 6 March. So you can see we have no repaint, no problem like that. This you can test by yourself. So yeah, anyway, taking back into it, like what's the role and the purpose, of all these tools like strategy and so on. Anyway, let's go back to my currency, ETH USDT, because this is what we are using. And yeah, so as you can see here, I have 2 products. I have this one, and if you can notice, this one is telling me exactly when I have this, the buys and exit. Yeah, so this product is the strategy. Strategy, like the name itself, yeah, it might be misleading, but this strategy is used for you to make all the test calculations and so on. So with this one, you can see like but this product actually performs just the way this author is telling you. If you are what does it mean? If you take this product and you're going to put in your computer and you're going to put ETH USDT 8 hours with these settings, like use Heikin Ashi and the other ones, you shouldn't touch it because you shouldn't. But this is from here, yeah, this one you can. Like here you can test the leverage if you want to take into account the leverage. But like I said initially, and I'm recommending it to all my traders, beginner traders. For first, leave it like it is. I want you first to understand how it performs, and after that I can give you some optimization and how you can maximize, the profits and so on. But now it's not the case. So yeah, anyway, this strategy is telling you, oh, it performed this. And then you tell me, okay, so you see, I like this product and I want to place a bot on it. Then that's why in general to all my customers I'm giving a strategy and an indicator. This indicator, if you notice, the one that says, the indicator is the one that's telling me sell and buy. This indicator is what we are going to use to make the connection with the bot, or if you want to receive alert and make the manual entries. So you see, for example, if I go here, if I go on alert, if I go on the indicator, I have, for example, buy alert, sell alert. This one is if you are going to use both long and short, or only long, which is more or less this test that you are going to see here right now. If you notice, this is for only long. If I will put only long disable, we have actually much bigger winnings. Now it's going only long and short, but we are going to have much more trades, but the percentage is going to be more or less the same, but the profit after is going to be lower. But this is all because sometimes, like for example, when you have a bull trend, it's not kind of optimal, to use short trades. When you have a bear trend, yeah. But honestly, initially I would like, but yeah, in the end, it's your own choice. But I kind of recommend to stick for now with long. Anyway, so yeah, this way, for example, if you with the indicator, like I said, you can place here the alert. So you see, you have buy alert, sell alert. If you want to use the, like for example, the bot normally, so you see, for example, you would put here 3 commas, and then you will have the message. In this one you put the command message from the bot itself. It's going to tell you blah blah blah, name of account, email, blah blah blah, the pair and entry. And then, for example, sorry, this was for violence. And then, for example, in the exit by alert, you will put here blah blah again, but in this case it would be a sell alert. It's close, sorry, to be the close entry of the position. Yeah, another very important stuff to discuss. If you noticed, the alert is here, but the entry is after the candle. Like I said, it made in this way to avoid repainting. So for this, what you have to do when you place the alert as well, you always place once per bar close. And if you do that, you will get entirely, the alert, you will get the entry right here. Just like in the simulation, you'll have the same entries. So I would say more or less, this is what I can tell you for the ETH product. As you can see, in the last year, 2020 until now, it works amazingly. It made 1.2000%, and we have only a 10% drawdown. So that means, let's say for example, we would use a leverage of 2.5, not 25, no, 2. So with a 2 leverage, you would make, look. So think about it. Let's say we have $1. Yeah, I'm placing $1. Yeah. So let's say we have $1. If you would have buy and hold at the end of the year, you would have $10. But if you would have $2, because it would be the initial to use the leverage, at the end of the year you will have $20. But if you are going to use the leverage in the trade itself, then I'm already going to destroy, the buy and hold. Even with 3, look for example with 3 leverage. Look at this. So you would get $30 with buy and hold if you would have 3 initial, but with this one, going to have almost 10 times more. Yeah, 10 times more. So yeah, this is how it goes. Of course, when you're going to have a loss, it's going to be bigger. But initially, honestly, I kind of like to keep it simple for now. You get understanding of the product and things like that. And after some weeks or months, you can go with the leverage and so on. Also, I recommend, of course, always initially stick with how it goes, with paper accounts, you know, so you make all these trades, setups, and so on. Yeah, and lastly, you know, to finish, remember the settings like I told you. Settings for this one, Heikin Ashi, only long. In this case, if you want to not use Heikin Ashi, you will see differences. Like, have less win rate, you will have more entries. You know, I like to keep, in general, my motto is quality over quantity. So yeah, this is my video for the Ethereum product. I hope you like it, and soon I'm going to publish the other ones. Peace.